Hello.
Hello, Peepy Zurich. How are you doing today? Good morning, everyone. As we get into things, today is the day for the stream weekend. So we are looking at the Dadcraft Patreon server's first stream weekend of the season. And as I understand it, there's quite a number of people that could be coming in on a raid train. So we'll we could wait for them. But in the meantime, I know I've got a bunch of dirt to place. So just quickly show you what that is. And then we'll get on to that part of it. Because we can always do that bit while we're waiting for everybody else. Oops. Might help if I actually show you the correct map. Alright. So we've got a bit of space up here. I said castle-ish. I was kind of wrong. I need to change that. But yeah, that's where we're sitting at. Because I want to put a castle on that right-hand side. Screen. Oh, yes. That might help. Thank you very much. You can tell I haven't used the weekend schedule in a while. So on the right-hand side, you can see sort of a rectangular piece. Just to the east, a little tag that says castle-ish, which I need to make that font bigger, but that's to the right. I just needed to flatten that out just a little bit so we can put our castle over there. Alrighty, Roo. So, let's get to it. I more or less mentally rolled out of bed about an hour ago, so my brain's not necessarily kicked in. I stayed up a little bit late last night, which was not the world's smartest idea. Trying to get everything going. Okay. And my watch does not realize that it's stream time. Hang on just one shake. I'm gonna mute that sucker. I just So it looks like the previous individual to us is, according to Fantastic Sherlock Fox, appears to be off in their own la la land, just keep on going. So we'll just rock on through, and we'll get those people when they show up. So as you can see, I've got myself a villager iron farm. As per usual, these are very, very noisy, but I can't actually shut down the zombie because then I wouldn't hear the real zombies coming. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna grab, let's go maybe about half of that. Give ourselves 10 more shovels. That'll work. Aha! I'm getting it in stereo. Give me one quick sec to change that up. Options, sounds. I always forget that. It's a constant for Delenn. Alright. Done. Done. Back. Okay, I'm hearing it once. Good news. So we are here. Oh, fiddle. We are here and ready to roll. I'm just going to make a few more shovels. Right, they had 9 sticks. Okay, fine. That's alright. That gets us 4 more shovels. And let's... Oops. I haven't labeled anything because, as you can understand, this early in the game, there's not much point. Make lots. There we go. I can make a few more shovels. How does one end up 1 stick short? Seriously? Anyway, it's not critical. But what I'm actually doing is pulling down this top layer. I'm at well, I was at 130 there, and this piece is at 128. Probably gonna have to stay for a while, but I'd like to actually get down to 120. The majority of the space I'm working with, so a lot of these like weird little peninsulas sticking out here, and this piece is a little bit lower. Hello, how are you? Give me one quick second. Hello, how are you? Yes, I'm a Java player. Her.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I'll drop off in after this. Okay, well, thanks for coming up. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. I appreciate you guys' patience with me. I know I'm not the easiest guy to watch, honestly. But, I do enjoy it. We'll be back, I'll probably be back on my Saturday Minecraft streams. So like every Saturday I'll hop on here, do more you know, grinding and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, the usual stuff. My weekdays be the usual, like Persona, Mass Effect, all the stuff that I normally play. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the raid started. Go ahead and drop a Gadrock raid when y'all are ready to go.
Sounds like a bit of a plan to me.
I enjoy when you guys pop on by too. Even if you're lurking, I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you guys should be more, interested in talking and stuff." And like, I love talking to you guys, but I completely understand. Like, I stream in the afternoon, so most of y'all working anyway. So lurking is a-okay with me, Anyway, raid's all set, so you guys have a good rest of your day. Remember to work hard, play hard, and rest hard, but don't overdo it. This Shinigami Moroku signing out.
Well then, sounds like I may have some raiders coming in. There's one. Welcome on in, raiders.
Hello.
Hello to everybody. So hi to ITT Tom.
Hello.
Hi to Shinigami.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
So it looks like Shinigami may have actually had me muted for a little while, but that's totally okay because I don't expect any of that to happen. Hello there. All right, so everybody's dropping on in, and I, for some reason, don't have.
Hello.
Which, there we go. Which, enable. See if this will work. Connecting. Yay! Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to see everybody's chitter chatter in the game chat. So welcome on in CJ Bot, welcome on in Shinigami. Those are just the ones that said hello so far. Good morning, Zip. There's a few others I've missed so far, but that's okay. They will drop on in. Oh, come on, it's a little early. So I will get back to real quick coverage of what I'm up to. And then I would like to hear from you guys what Shinigami got up to. I will be perfectly honest, I stayed up late last night, and the result was that I was not fully awake to be able to watch anybody else this morning. It actually took me a while to find socks, even though I had 3 loads of clean laundry. And I have a very confused rabbit that somehow managed to spawn on the top of my iron farm. Okay. Well, poor bunny. So, first things first. Okay, I've got a spot up here to the north, kind of north-central, where I've been trying to flatten it out, and we're going to start out by building a castle. Now, I have a tag to the west of Castle-ish, but I decided I'm going to move it to the right. Part of the reason it didn't miss much, just some mining and farming help. That's okay. It's a good place to start, right? Excellent place to start. So I'll show you quickly what we've got going for references here. My theme this season, I haven't actually been loud enough about it, is based on that monk that I did a picture for last month, or last season. Let's see if I can get, where's my references folder? Live, there we go, references. Oh, whoops, I don't want them all at once. Okay, so that didn't work. Basically, I've got a monk named Brother Cadfael who lived in a fictionalized version of the English town of Shrewsbury, which does exist. So, I went and looked up Shrewsbury, England, and you can see there's the town. So I'm looking at a G-map here. So there's the town from Google Maps. Then across the river to the east side, there is, what do you call it? There's like a fork. You can sort of see where the road goes over the river and then across another road. And that's the town I'm working with, a pixelized version. A sketch of it is like this one. So if Cadfael Shrewsbury, but the one on the left, as you can clearly see, is the modernized one. So that's not going to help anybody. So I'm working on the one on the right. Now I managed to find a spot. We've looked at the map a couple of times, but I managed to find a spot where if you take a look at the Minecraft map and the way it turned out, I got that. Which works out really, really well because I could rotate my map, sort of sketch mentally, I guess, a little bit, skew it, and then there's a bunch of features that work out quite well to make these maps almost beautifully overlay. I'll shut off the two other ones, Minecraft and this one, and I'll shrink the sketch. Sketch, get a little smaller, please. Because you're on my head. There we go. All right. So we're not going to keep this on the whole time. Sketch map, please get a little smaller. There we go. I have to crop it better and such. But, so when we look at our, map that we're actually working with, underneath, I'll zoom it out. You can see that the shape fits nicely. And the funny part was, when I went to check the southwest side to see if it actually did wrap around nice, there's a spot, a little farther back, spot over here where it's nice and dark. It's not the gray spot that you see below, but the one on the left. So it's dark. That blob, weirdly enough, coincides to a spot on the sketch map that happens to be marked the quarry. And interestingly enough, the quarry still exists on the real world map. So, I mean, we got really, really lucky. Okay, let's just see I haven't missed anything. Morning, Bob. How are you doing today? Or should I say good afternoon to you, Bob? Possibly even also good evening. Good evening. So, Shinigami, now that I've run my mouth a little bit, what is it that you've been up to? Because I saw that you had a minor hiccup connecting to the server. Once you actually got onto the server, you said that I didn't miss much. But what's the aim of your mining and farming of kelp? What are you intending to use these particular products for? Like, is the kelp just to be able to build a farm and run smelters, or is there more to it than that? But everybody starts with a mine, and I have not got my mine yet. I got lucky. There's a spot pretty thick underneath the iron farm, so I don't have to worry about having it way up in the air. But unfortunately, I've discovered by accident that really close to where I'm putting the castle, there are caves really, really close to the surface. It didn't even curve off. Like, literally, it looks like somebody in the game artificially capped it, which is really odd. We're not going to be doing dirt all day, because we definitely have some castle building to get to, but I decided to start with the castle rather than the monastery or abbey, because, frankly put, I need somewhere to live. And on the sketch map, which I will actually bring up again and then move. Open this, open that, and move this. Oh, whoops. I don't want to throw it, I want to move it. Fine. There we go. So on the sketch map, you can see at the top where the area narrows, that's where there's a castle. So, needless to say, I'm putting my castle in a similar spot. And I figure it's a good place to start because the sheriff in the story is a gentleman by the name of Hugh Beringer, who inherited property from his father, but got assigned to Shrewsbury and moved over there as a result of wars between I think it was Henry the VII, I think it was. Anyways, whose daughter Maud should have ascended to the throne, but unfortunately there was a war in the 12th century that resulted in cousin. So I guess cousin slash I guess nephew, sort of. Well, not really. It's like cousin, but one generation down. So Maud's cousin felt that women should not be on the throne, was supposedly the story that was put around, although I suspect it's just modernized excuses. Anyway, he wanted the throne, and he thought his armies could beat Maud's armies, so he ended up fighting for it. And this is actually a real situation that happened. And so Maud and Stephen were fighting back and forth for years. I mean, there's different skirmishes and stuff that started and stopped and so on. But Maud managed to gain support in a lot of the south of what became England, from the Norman side, and Maud more or less had the north part of the country from Gloucester on down. So the two of them were fighting, and Shrewsbury was in the hands of Stephen, with a lot of supporters of Stephen, which they refer to in the very first Headfound novel called A Morbid Taste for Bones. And he assigned Barrier to be the sheriff of the region, partly because that guy was just a noble in the area helping out and seemed to take an interest in what was going on. So Stephen's like, well, you're swearing your loyalty to me, I need to have somebody who's in charge of this region. You got it, buddy. The castle in Shrewsbury does exist. There's a lot of it that still stands, but unfortunately it doesn't look like a castle. Not what we would normally think of as a castle. So I'm going to build one that's fantasy take on it, because I mean, really, it's a real place, but I'm not going to be too hung up on realism in a lot of senses. Partly because of Minecraft scale, and partly just because if I went 1-to-1, it'd be ridiculous. But what stands now is actually just 2 turrets with a rectangular building in between. So I would like to hear from anybody sitting in chat, if they're willing, that if you're not on the stream this weekend, because I know we'll see a bunch of the players this weekend, but if you are on the Dadcraft servers, whether it be Bedrock or Java or modded, but I mean, I think we only Bedrock and Java this weekend. If you are sitting in chat, what are some of your plans for the server? What are some of the things you've been working on, and what are some of the things that you would like to hopefully get to soon? Like, what's next up on your docket? I've been seeing a lot of people getting some of the basic achievements, like Ice Bucket Challenge for Obsidian, and a few of them have been running into the Nether and stuff, but that's just this server. I haven't had an idea what's going on in the Bedrock server. You guys can see that I'm running mini-maps. Now at the moment, I'm running Journey Map, although I'm liable to switch over to Zero's mini-map, just because for the basic stuff I'm doing, it's similar. Plus, it has a perk where you can see fallen entities on the ground, so blocks that I haven't picked up or whatever, which, particularly early game, is quite helpful, because if I have skeletons that burn up in the sun or something, it's nice to be able to know they dropped a bone if I didn't remember to pick it up. So, wow, noisy game. Weirdly, the weather around here has been, it can get super duper cold, and we had a bit of a deep freeze last week. But then towards the end of the week, it seems to have warmed up, and the problem with that, I mean, you know, it's slushy, icy, etc. But the other side of it is that you get, oh, what's with you guys? Are you early? Problem with it warming up and so forth is we get what's called, aha, we have a sleeper. Okay, fine, I don't need to. What do we have on? We've got myself, Ironstein, Stoner Miner, aka Brian, and Zerk. I was actually quite surprised to know, Derail of course, that the Zerks have quite a passel of the people they know on this server this season. I'm meeting a bunch of new faces that know them very well, but I've never met. Which is really cool. I like that things are growing, and that friends are bringing their friends, which is pretty awesome. So as you can see from the sketch on the side, we have, pardon me, a good bit of work for, a potentially year-long stay here. There's a village there, and so at some point there will be, you know, micro houses to be redeemed, but unfortunately they won't be of a livable scale. So for those of you that do play Java and want to hang out on the server, these houses won't be a livable scale in most cases. There will be exceptions for properties that were specifically noted in the book series, and those might be a little bit larger just so that they are, you know, discernible from the rest. But the ones that aren't, then we'll have a redeem to be able to name it as, like, Poppy's house or something. Thank you very much, Switchblade. I really appreciate the follow. I appreciate that follow. I normally stream during times when people are at work, as Shinigami was discussing. Some of my channel was hearing part of his conversation. I'm not so sure he was hearing mine, but that's alright. You know, tech issues and all that jazz. Yeah, a whole bunch of folks you know. Well, oddly, Zerk, you're related to most of them. Where was I going with that? Yeah. So, I usually stream on times in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, where the first stream of the day is actually, well, a lot of the North American folks are at work. It just so happens that works out well for me because, of course, in with that, makes sense. I'm in the mountain time zone, so my kids are at school. So that's how this whole thing started, and then they daily-ish get a period that we call electronics time. But really, they can use their electronics any time of the day, but that's more game time if they wish, or mucking around and watching YouTube videos or something like that. Like, they have a limited amount of time to do those sorts of activities. So, the vast majority of the time, they want nothing to do with me, which means, like, they're off their own, which means that I pick up some evening slots as well. So that's where my schedule came from. But the resulting effect of both of those is being it's a midweek busy slot in the evenings with lots of competition, and that it's a quiet at work slot in the mornings. Result has been that I'm a fairly small stream. I don't have a problem with that, but it's nice every once in a while to break out and get a little bit of a weekend stretch. I mean, there's tons and tons of competition for other channels for people to watch, so it behooves me to be more interesting, which can be kind of stressful. So today I just decided, let's just do, I shouldn't say what I do best, but something I know well and can talk through. Right, and I see that, looks like, I'm gonna bet Fantastic Show Fox started that one. You always forget Swanky. Uh-oh, that's awkward. Gotta be quicker than that. What did we have here? I missed something in chat. A whole bunch of folks no, Swanky. Okay. I missed something intentionally. Oh, haha! Swanky Potato is first again! It's mildly funny because Swanky Potato frequently grabs the first, and if he doesn't, it's Lyric that usually catches the first in my channel. But the odd bit is they have yet to actually do it on any date when they really are first. So as soon as we get this bit done, we're going to jump over to the flat zone, see if it's enough to fill everything in, and then we can start on the castle itself. Just wait, says CJ. Or to CJ from Mr. Owl. Good to see you, Mr. Owl. Good morning, good morning. And I think I saw Stormy Owl pop in earlier. Good to see you both. So let's see. CJ bought you one this morning with... What do we use today? The sword. Ah, nice and classic. Excellent. So what that will do, for those of you unfamiliar, is the next time anyone redeems the channel points on the Champion of the Hill, they will look at it and see that CJ is the current Champion of the Hill, so it'll say something like the Champion of the Hill is CJ Bot, and actually rename the redeem. Same thing with the first, so as in it's going to reference who was here first, and then of course the biggest fan is a similar thing. So whoever's my current biggest fan gets the redeem named after them. I used to do it so that the username came first, and then I unfortunately had to change that out and swap it to the other direction, sort of like the biggest fan is so-and-so. And the reason for that was just that when you get multiple channel point redeems that are in the same financial range of how many clues you have to spend to get it to happen, then it turns out that ones with lower in the alphabet names get pushed way down to the end of the pile, and then the list becomes incredibly long. So I need to figure out how to make this list of channel point redeems a little bit shorter for everybody. I've been seeing a lot of, in Discords and so forth, a bit of crying around about the weather, and I'm curious to know, do portions of the United States actually have a deep freeze going on right now? Some of the predictions I've been seeing for like people's forecasts are pretty cold. Like, they've got wind chills and stuff going on, which is odd considering that usually Canada gets them too. It just so happens that my neck of the woods is in the middle of having one of our Chinooks. So lots of headaches and so on. Like my ditch. Need that. That'll work. We be full. Ew, zombie. Okay. Let's break this shovel. Can I break the shovel before I... Oops. Come on. Before I fill up on blocks? Probably not. Aha. There we go. Okay. I have extra shovels. We can do that later. Okay. Alright, so we're headed up to the corner where we're going to start putting the castle, but I needed more space. Unfortunately, the castle is going to be lower than I'd originally anticipated, but that's not necessarily an issue. I mean, castles being castles, we can always build up a platform that the castle's on.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, 40F. Okay. So, that's not too bad. So, what we can do with that is convert 40F. There we go. So that's about 4.5 degrees above freezing for those of you that prefer Celsius. Which isn't bad at all. That's definitely cooler than I would want my house to be, but not bad for winter temperatures. I mean, it is February. February is the month where up here we usually get the big deep freezes, like we're talking Silvermate's been posting his areas minus 34. So B Silver B, if you put in minus 34 space, like convert minus 34 space F, you'll get the Celsius on that. And you said your server mate's been, yeah, minus. Is that with or without wind chill? Because that's pretty nasty. I mean, once you get below freezing, the numbers in Fahrenheit and Celsius usually get pretty close. So they're virtually the same thing. And let's see, am I too high up? Where am I? Oh yeah, I'm on the wrong level.
Hello.
I don't really need to do this one, I need to do the lower one. Good morning, Scotch Tape, and welcome on in. How are you doing this morning? We are, as you're seeing, we are on the Dadcraft. Ooh, and yeah, good. I have the logo. Okay, we are on the Dadcraft 73 server. This is our first stream weekend of the brand new season. So last season lasted about a year, and then this season's going, as I understand it, it's going to go roughly the same length. Yeah, so, Fantastic Show Fox, did you happen to catch a shout out for Shinigami as well? There will be a number of folks in here that we're going to need a bunch of shout outs along the way, but we're going to make an extra special point of doing shoutouts if we can for those of you that are not in the Dadcraft community, just because there's a bunch of the Dadcraft community who's streaming this weekend, and what better way to get auto shoutouts for them than to show you the brief but well done poster for the stream weekend. So just a quick pause here. So we've got the schedule that we had this morning was ITT Tom to start, who did a fantastic job, so I hear. Haven't had a chance to check out the VOD though. And then followed that was Shinigami Moroku, and when I'm done here, we'll be floating on into our Aussie friend Carnage Joe. And so we've got a great lineup. Some of them are appearing twice this weekend on each end, and we are, as I understand it, awarded the lovely pleasure this season of having Dadcraft hang out on his servers for the stream weekend. So that'll be kind of cool. It'll be neat to see what people come up with. I'm not the world's fastest dirt placer, so let's get back into it and get some more focus on. Oh, come on. First off, put the bed down. Yep, you're welcome to chat or lurk or whatever works best for you and your, as you say, sketchy internet at the office. Nobody needs that hassle. There we go, that's a little better. Oops, or not. we go. So we have a good bunch that are out this weekend. And I'm just checking. I think the shoutouts are correctly picking up on it. Someone who's actually been watching their activity will need to let me know whether or not the shoutouts Fantastic Shoutout Fox is doing is actually managing to pick up on the proper, the Twitch native shoutouts. I've been trying to do both types when I can remember. And the funny thing is I've had it set up with my bot to actually try and use the same trigger that you would use for a native Twitch shoutout as a trigger for my regular textual shoutout, but it seems to be hit and miss, more miss than hit. So what I'm working on right now is we're just expanding the space of this rectangular section so that I can actually put the castle down in there, and then we can remove the tag that's all janky. And then we'll get the sheriff's place in, and that gives me a good place to start if I need to do some AFK stuff or to actually have a storage zone. We're going to need to... Okay, good to hear, CJ. Yeah, it's when we use the /shoutout command, it's supposed to trigger the text one as well. Keep it timed out for your shoutouts. Oh, I see, because it's too much repeat of the same command. Okay, I'll take a look at that in between streams so that I don't have the same issue tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. It gets really fussy with the repeat information. And yet mods are supposed to be exempted from that, so I don't know what it thinks. Oh! Well, thank you very much, Porkchop Wally. I have seen you out and about in various other streams, and I really appreciate that you feel materials interesting enough to give me a follow. Good to see you. Oops. On the Twitch end, can't do many shoutouts too close together. Oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. Part of it is they probably want to attempt to expire the timers on each one of them before there's another one, so that nobody gets gypped on the little pop-up button that says, please follow. So yeah, after those of you that are familiar with 2 seasons where I've been doing a large carpet art for each one of them, pixelated picture sort of thing. Although I'm reusing one of the themes from last season, I'm not going to be redoing carpet art. That doesn't mean that art will vanish. I'm looking at going with the, I wouldn't say lore concept, but it was the idea that this one, rather than being on the ground, castles and things like monasteries are cold places and they need tapestries to help keep them warm. So if we can at all manage it, I will try to figure out how to do banners as my art. And we're going to get banner art instead of carpet art. So we'll go vertical this time around. That's the hope anyways. Not particularly sure what the content of those would be. I mean, I could actually look at real ones and just try and look at some of their designs, but I'm thinking more references to maybe the television production of the Cadfael series or something similar. So yeah, ideas, ideas, ideas. But yeah, this is one of those spaces where there's a lot of stuff to be done. So I have a village to the southeast, and at the moment I'm letting them just do their thing. You know, every once in a while I've popped down there just to see if they're steal a couple villagers or whatever. After I got the iron farm going, and went down to see, and sure enough, they've repopulated, so I don't have to worry about that part for now. Which means that I'm avoiding the concept of a villager breeder. They'll get all bred up on an as-necessary basis. But I learned the hard way this week, or should I say I was reminded this week when I was trying to build the iron farm, that the pull of a bed is stronger than the pull of a workstation. During the day, I got them about 3/4 of the way across from the village to where I wanted the iron farm, and then they turned around mysteriously and just started wandering back towards the village, and I couldn't at the time place why it was until somebody in chat politely reminded me, yeah, they want their beds. I was like, oh man. And I had to start all over again. So even with the beds, I had some of them wandering back and just ended up having to go back to the village and steal every bed just to ensure that the beds I was putting down were the only ones they could possibly want to connect to. And then when I got back, it turned out that some of the villagers had decided that they were just going to wander too far out of town since they didn't have a bed and walk themselves off cliffs and things. Like I had a bunch that tried to jump into the ocean. So, or not the ocean, but the water over there. So I had to quickly put beds back, of course, because they needed a place to be, anchor. In the process, sent myself over the cliff a couple times, but I've died a few times this season. I'm trying to remember how many. One notably on stream. I think once since, but I had a home. And, which reminds me, I need to update my death counter. This is a little faster, by much though. Hey you. Alright. Almost there. Let's see how much. Yeah, if I can level off with this lump, more or less, then I'll call it a day and I can always clean up the edges later. If I have extra in my inventory, why not? But then we can get back. Then we can get back to base, grab some more, grab some cobble, and just start getting at it. Now, I'm intentionally doing the castle non-textured to begin with. Part of it is because texturing is not one of my fortes. Part of the reason is that the castle itself was actually a wood palisade. Palisade's probably not the correct word, but a wooden setup until probably at least 1070, 1080, something like that. And then sometime between then and 1130s, the late 1130s, then they converted it to stone, but they didn't actually go to nice, beautiful, smooth stone. It was more of a, I shouldn't say slapdash, but a bit of a mess. The castle had issues. So that's part of why I'm going with the cobble. I'll get some better stone in there, but we definitely won't be looking too much towards the bricks direction unless I might do some cracked bricks. That looks a little bit like an upgrade from cobblestone, but yeah. Texturing has never been one of my fortes. Neither has landscaping, in case you hadn't figured that one out yet. But my theory this time is I'm starting with the practicalities and we'll get to the beautification another time. The other perk is that I don't have to worry about not having silk touch and so on. And I may end up with a proper trading hall to start with inside the castle, and then break it out to village houses later on. And one of the other things I'm thinking about doing is when we finally get around to building the monastery or abbey, I may actually populate that with the librarians, just because if you want every single book in the game, that's an awful lot of librarians, as I unfortunately proved to myself last season. So they may have a home elsewhere. Perfect. Okay. We have enough space, we can start building. Excelente. Alright, so although the design should have been a defensible one, in real life the river on the... oh, there we go. The river on the west side would come up further inwards, more towards the white section, and then bottleneck there and move back outwards again. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. If I ever get to those projects terraforming, we get to that. And if we ever get to that, great. Because I mean, I have two spots where I can connect. There's one spot where I can dig up further, and then the bottom where I can connect these two sections together. But go with it as it is. So for now, I've got the castle up to the right. And it's funny because it looks smaller to me than I thought it was going to be. Let's feed ourselves and then go get some of the cobble. I haven't got myself a generator yet, just because There's a ton of dripstone around here, in caves, with a ton of mobs. And as you're well aware, I'm a bit of a chicken. Well, a bit is a bit of an understatement. I'm a chicken. And so it just means that if I can avoid going in there, great. However, this thing, I've had it growing since Wednesday afternoon, like between my 2 streams on Wednesday, and it grew 1 piece of dripstone. That's it. So I may have to suck it up, Buttercup, and go and go and pick some up, like as in brave a cave and go get some more. Yeah, I'm far less bothered by a creeper coming up. Although I will say I had a creeper come up recently. And where was I standing? I think this back corner on this side. I was just looking at something in here. Hearing the shuffle, wondering if everything was working all right. Because I was trying to track out where the villagers were. They were supposed to be getting ready to go to bed. And I hear this sizzle boom far too late to even do anything about it. So I turn around and they've blown up most of this corner. Most of the glass on this corner. And the villagers were wandering around. I was like, great, great. On the bright side, though, of course, they wanted their beds and workstations, so they went back in. And I was able to seal in the bottom corner. But, you know, and trap them, and that was fine, and then I had to go get more glass. So it's not perfect. But yeah, definitely Vault Hunters is getting me a lot more experience with mobs. My kids have decided they want to try Vault Hunters too, particularly my son. My daughter wants to play with the mods. I said, good luck with that. We have to get them unlocked first. But she figured that she would actually at least come and try the game out in vanilla mode. Okay. Yeah, I haven't got any poppies. Oh, I do have poppies stored. Okay. Let's just throw these up here. I can always compost the others later. And I need all of the cobble I can get at the moment. Probably need those. Probably that. Ooh. I don't want birch fence. Okay, we'll have to leave the wood accents for later. But I do need... I'm used to being able to do things like creative flight or even just basic flight, but at the moment it's not likely. So I can just want to make sure I don't spend resources unwisely. Oh, okay, that's fine. It won't show me that because I'm not looking at the correct. Yeah, okay, it's all sticks. Perfect. This, that, and let's make ourselves some ladders. Oops. There we go. 39? Yeah, that'll do for now. Alright. As much as I don't really like building with birch, I think I'm going to. Because, like, not all the accents will be something else. But the floors, if I make them birch floors, it helps lighten the inside of the castle, at least to start with. Alrighty. Yeah, so I'm really curious how my kids are going to take to Vault Hunters. I'm not sure that's going to work out for them, but if they want to try it, then I'll give it a shot this evening. My brain just went on a holiday. Oh, I know what I wanted. Yes. Once again. Okay. What am I looking for? Stone. Yeah. Can anybody in chat happen to remind me what it's required for a stone cutter? I know I need some iron for the blade part, but I'm trying to remember what else I need. Nice, excellent. I missed that come through Fantastic Dog Box. Thank you very much. Stone, okay. Of course it would be. Stone, I need the iron. And thanks, Jay. Good to see you. A proper stone. Good plan, Zerk. Good plan, Zerk. So we now have Champion of the Hill coming through. Why is my brain going on a holiday? Give it a half dozen. I know I'll have to come back for more stuff. I always do. I have plans upon plans upon plans. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
No. And hello to B Silver Bee, and hello to Arch Thunder as well. Lots of them. Boppins, boppins, boppins. Yes, Mr. Owl, definitely. Okay, and our winner was... Ooh, it looks like Ziptuus is the new champion of the hill using the iron. Ow! Seriously, man. Ow! That would hurt. Alright. Just a little mean, yeah, exactly. He's smashing face. Okay. Let's get these. Will you now tell me the cutter? Thank you. Okay. Close. Leave here for now. Don't need that. I'm not even sure I want to figure that out. Ziprexa? One of those if you know you know moments. 145, okay. Let's get back down there and start laying out our towers. The space actually feels small, but I mean by the time I get the whole village in, and I can always tear it down and make it bigger. Like make the castle bigger. Yeah. We got ourselves in a bit of a weird spot. We're ridged, like as in we're up from the water. On the other hand, we also have ridges here, and then we're in a bowl in the center. So if I was to terraform this thing down, we'd be here for a few weeks. So that's not what we need. Let's start laying out the first tower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'll have to figure out what to do with the inside versus the outside later. That's the first one. How big do I want this thing to be? I was drawing out sketches yesterday, so I want to see how big my inside was going to be after that. Alright. Okay, let's see if we can have enough space to make this like 20 some odd. Oh, if I can get back into the game. I moved my drop key away from Q because I kept throwing stuff when I was trying to walk. The disadvantage though is that sometimes I keep pressing that and thinking I should be able to walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 20, 21, 22, and this one 3. Might be a bit tight, but we can get ourselves some more dirt. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Should cut this one out. Eight will get me at least enough to get this thing built. 9, there you go. 2 and 3. There we go. And we'll just throw these inside. Alright. Now can I make this thing square? Go with that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, is little. I'm gonna check this corner and see how much space I left myself. I can always drag everything back a little bit before I get too far into it. Oh yeah. Okay, I should have just done that. Back this way.
Hello.
By 3.
Hello.
Yes, actually it is. It is. Thank you, Hobozim. Welcome on in, by the way. It is my plan. So basically you're seeing that it kind of says Shrewsbury on the top. And so it's based off of a medieval fictionalized yet semi-accurate version of events in the 12th century. And they've added, you know, it's like a lot of books. They've added it, sort of the character that magically is there for everything. Well, I guess might as well just put down my bed in the center of this mess. And remember, for Dadcraft's fans that may have seen it this week, I will not pick the bed up this time. Yeah, it's a massive build, so I was actually quite pleased when people were asking the question, how long is this server going to be up? And Dadcraft said, oh, about a year. Like, good. I can use that space. That would help a lot. But I'm going to focus mostly on the key locations from the novels. I don't necessarily... Did I... 3 moved? I'm going to focus on the key locations. So if I don't get it all done, I won't be too upset. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I moved 4. I think. 1, 2, yeah, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is where we're here. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, the bed. So, for those of you that didn't see what happened this week, although Zerk knows very well what happened this week, I was fighting with the iron farm. That's my excuse. And when I built the iron farm, I was trying to get the villagers to link to their beds correctly, right? You know, thought, okay, great, I'm at the point where I can get the zombie. This is fantastic. And so I told people, please keep it night so we can, oops. Yeah, please keep it night so we can actually get this zombie. And I started getting too many things coming at me at once. I'd completely and utterly forgotten that because the villagers could have been connecting to the bed I had out there, that I had picked up said bed and did not remember to put it back down. So as you can imagine, bed was obstructed and, you know, on and on and on. That's where that part goes. Which resulted in a trip to spawn. Which, I mean, it's not too bad, but I'll give you a good hint about how it felt a little bit far. First off, I tend to use Journey Map most of the time. Journey Map only scrolls out this far. Okay, you can see where I'm standing right up near the top. Only scrolls out this far. If I pull it over, spawn is on this side, way over. So we're standing at 2259, and the spawn house is roughly 56. So we're looking at, you know, 2200 blocks away. And yeah, so I had to what was the word? I had to borrow indefinitely a few supplies to make sure I could get back. But at least I didn't do armor, so that's the good one. I did steal the armor. Okay. 22 blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This should line up. Yeah. Oh, for sure. There. Those of you that saw Wednesday morning know that I was looking for space like this. I mean, I didn't realize I was going to get lucky with the water pattern. That was actually completely pure fluke. But I definitely wanted a meadow of some sort to work with. Last season I went with Savannah, so I mean that could have worked. But we're talking England here. I mean, if anything, England's well known for rain, as Bob can heavily attest, I'm sure, and Jay as well. So the Savannah wasn't ideal, but it could have worked. But I saw sand. Oh, did I see sand? And I saw ocean. Lots and lots of ocean. But that's part of it, though. I mean, part of the reason some of the Java people are so far out this season is actually because of the fact that there is a stinking big ocean and a stinking big desert if you go west. And then, of course, we all want places to live on the east. But I mean, it wasn't too bad. As in, like, Stormiel is out quite a ways. No, it's probably yours to count. Stormiel is out quite a ways, and so hopefully she won't make the same silly mistake I did. But that was the issue. I mean, so if I'd had my bed over here, where it is now, it probably wouldn't have been such a big deal. But I had it really close to the iron farm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oops, that's 22 is there. So this should be on 23, I think. I think. Nope. What did I do wrong here? Count from the wrong corner? Well, actually, on that note, I'm just taking a quick boo. I've got the spreadsheet open. On the coffee map, we have change account. Always on the wrong one. Okay, we are looking at coffee map. We've got my nearest neighbor. Actually, nope, it's not you, Stormy. My nearest neighbor is James Curry, it looks like. So it's almost a toss-up between James and Phoenix. And Creef is just a bit further out than that. That's not too bad. I don't have all of the oops. J. There we go. Let's turn on the waypoints. All on. There we go. Close. So now we can start to see the text isn't very large. I do apologize. And home is just sort of a generic one. So those two are mine. Yeah, so Phoenix is my nearest neighbor. And then if I scroll a little further, there's got Spawn. We've got the Zerk. One of the Zerks is out to the west there. We've got Ironstein out that far. So I mean, there's a few. Yeah, I think James is probably my closest, but it's Phoenix is close. By the way, Phoenix, nice little starter house. Love it. Shacks work really well, and I hope you don't mind I slept overnight there a couple times. Just convenient. Actually, there's one of those things that I should probably consider as a thought one year, is have a base closer to spawn, and then go with like a, you know, traveling or like a stopping house sort of theme. Maybe build a hotel or something, so that when people get stuck going back to their bases from scratch, that they have a place to stop overnight. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can't count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, I see. Yes. Yes. I see, Stormy. You're right. I am your closest neighbor. I'll be honest, though, when I see Poppy's name on the map, I misread that every single stinking time. And I feel bad about that, because I always double check going, that's not what they wrote, is it? And it's not, but... Oops. 1, 2, 3. You're only 700 blocks from spawn right now. You'll move after a bit, though. Oh, you have plans to be a nomad? Or is there something more to the design? Oops, not that one. I don't know why, but I have a thing about always leaving a walkable border. And although you can usually get from one to the other diagonally, it doesn't always work. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that'll be enough. Alright, I may have to dig it out more anyways. So let's throw in the path blocking for the walls. So we can start to see where our baseline will be.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, okay, I'm not on there, just he's Bedrock server. Oh yes, I see what you're saying. You can do as many of Dadrock servers as you want. It's one of the great things about it. Okay, one of the great things about it is it's very all-inclusive. Interesting. This is why I do stuff like this. Path blocking, for example, because that means that I should be able to figure out where I messed up along the way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Weird. So I've off-shifted somehow by 2 blocks. That's odd, but this is why I draw these outlines, right? As opposed to building a tower and then going, oh no! So, based on the terrain, my question is, do I want to move it out? The 2 blocks is going to drive me nuts, so that's part of it. I think it might be best to move these 2, even though I've already path blocked for them. There. Okay, let's try this one more time. So this one lines up centrally, so if I just move it forward those 2 blocks. 1, 2. I like this one where it is, it'll count that one. Okay, counting with Delenn. Yay! What's funny, sometimes I wish when... now this is not chunk aligned, and I frankly don't care. But one of the things I find interesting about Minecraft I would like to have as a feature is the ability to turn on a grid easily, just so that you can actually see where your blocks are. Now I get that let's see if I can hit that past my mic. F3 and G, I think it is. Join quarters. Oh, sec. That's not going to work too well. J. Come on, mouse. What did you do? Uh-oh. There we go. I think I just had a client crash. Oh, there we go. Back to game. That's what happened. Oops. Oops. Escape. Options. Resource packs. Oops, not that one. What did I do with that? Okay. I'll have to figure out what I did. So I can't remember what I just did. Escape. Options. Video settings. Shader packs. Disabled. Thank you. Done. 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 Back. Okay. I like shaders. They're fine, but not when I'm in the middle of building things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Let's take this one. I'm confusing myself here. Two and 3, and diagonally by 2, and 3, and diagonally by 2. Okay, so this one should be in the right spot now. This one is not. For curiosity's sake, you'll note fairly quickly that the castle being way up on this right-hand side, even if I was to extend the river, you can understand how that it was not actually a very defensible position. There was a failed siege as part of how the place got taken over in the first place, and Steven's crew won it from Maud's forces. But it was deemed basically being one of those very unimportant regions, which is part of why we didn't see a whole lot of stuff, like wars and things mentioned in the novels. By the way, these mobs you're hearing is not your imagination. Those guys are actually quite a bit shallower below me, and I dug into their space twice, and it was not a fun scene for me. I don't like getting surprised by that, because for some reason it seems to want to spawn multiple creepers at a time, and we're not talking 2 or 3, we're talking like 8. So I stay out of there as much as I can. That. There. Problem solved. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay. We've got some layout I can work with. And that's 22. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with that. Notes. Shut up, spider. Alrighty. Castle would not be Cathal approved given the lack of defensive posture. No, you're right. So, and it sounds funny to me that Fantastic Shot Fox would say that, but he's absolutely right. Part of it is that the castle was actually designed to be what's the word? I'm trying to remember now. Like it's just a home. It's more of a landlord's place, but just a semi-defensible landlord's place. Okay. I figured how big my walls section was going to be. Okay, we had right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 12 blocks deep. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, 22 blocks wide by 12 blocks deep, and then I get to decide how I want to do these corners. The easiest thing to do is just to go up and get the tower over with. Okay, and I want to go about 12 blocks up as well. About 12 blocks up because I don't like things being odd numbers, but when we get the overhangs, it'll look a little higher. The other thing is I'm a little sparse on materials to start with. Won't be the case the whole time. Okay, where are we here? I have a hole in the ground. How'd that happen? Do we have ender people already? Six, 7, 8, 11, and 12. Good, I brought a crafting table. Okay. Wow. This one isn't exactly the Cracker Jack in the box. Okay. This one there. Work tool here. We need some more. Sure, that's a good start. weird way of doing things, but it works. Yeah, so Cadfael would not have approved because before he became a monk, he was actually a crusader. Not a real person. So as I was loosely alluding to earlier on, it's one of those situations where... Oops, wrong spot. Where authors have created a character who can conveniently be involved and or present or aware of real events without actually being truthfully responsible for them. So, for example, another good case in point was there's a book called a book series called Earth's Children's Series, and it's written by a lady named Jean M. Auel. But his point is, in that story, that she created a character spelled Ayla. Now, I've heard different pronunciations of it. Some people say Isla, some people say Ayla. Anyways, but the point was, it's set in a prehistoric time with humans, and so she had her character basically doing / being responsible for a lot of human discoveries. It was conveniently all done by this character, and so it's one of those sorts of things. So Cadfael is conveniently placed in England during a bunch of those rough times in the 12th century. But some of the names you get in the series are accurate. For example, they have a couple of abbots, and they have actually a few of them, and a prior by the name of Robert, strangely enough, who was abbot very briefly. Didn't get to stay abbot, but and he's a pain in the butt character. But abbots Heribert, pardon me, and Robert are just two of the characters who actually were historical people. But of course, because of their role, there's not much known about them. So it's one of those type of stories where you can tie it back to real things, but it's not gonna have actually happened that way. But anyways, Cadfael was in these books. He was a crusader, and while he was out and about doing his crusading thing, he learned an awful lot about local lore where he was with regards to things like plants and their healing medicinal properties. There we go. And poisons and how not to use things and so on and so forth. Years ago I tried as a kid or young teenager to write a portion of a Cadfael fanfiction story. That will not be seeing the light of day because it, even by a lot of fanfiction standards now, it's horrible. Absolutely awful. The grammar is like, yeah, you could tell my age roughly by the grammar. Okay. So, looks like we are starting to see things rise, but unfortunately, I ran myself out of the cobblestone. Therefore, see what we can do for a level floor in here, and then we'll have to come back. Where did I put the ladders? Here we go. And we'll have to come back for the next level. So what have we got? Ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make it 4 high. Why not? But flooring. Oh, not that. Other thing that just occurred to me. Oh, there it is. I did bring torches. I didn't think I had. So that's problematic. No torches. Go. So by putting it up 4 high and then using half slabs, I'm just giving myself a lot of headroom to work with. But I also recognize that it means that there'll be weird spots where I've got a full block hanging down because I wanted to hang a torch or hang a whatever. Like, you know, do a little something with the lighting. And there's days I do that. Give me this, please. Thank you. Oh. And she left herself a great big hole in the roof. That's okay. We can make more. I think I only did 6 for the moment. One set. fill that hole, and then we're going to go, and as part of wanting to cut down some of the island a little bit more, I'm going to try and take out some of the stone layers that we see on the ridges around. I will, once I can get my lava farm going up to 5 lava things, then I will be turning that into a stone farm. An auto generator beside it. It's just that right now it's not ready. Not ready for that. Right, what have we got? The original plan was to start marking out things with sheep, and we really will be using them for that fairly quickly, but in this particular castle case it was just easier to mark it out by pathing. Okay. I have a stick, and I've got some iron. And we're just gonna come and chop out a bunch of this stuff. Well, hopefully attempting to not fall in a hole. Now, at least we have iron tools. I do have 1 diamond pick, but I have not traded with the villagers to get more, so I'm a little bit leery to use up the diamond pick. And you can see from the edge of the mini-map, we have a good number of people to the west, clearly. A number of things going on to the west. So I have a need to do some more exploring, but I'll probably wait till I get a portal up first. I've got the materials to put up a portal. I don't know. I might have even found a lighter, which would be useful. But I had no reason to go to the nether yet, so I hadn't actually put one up. As I understood it late last night, the grind continues for Brian Stoner Miner to want to rush for the roof. He wants, because on Java you can build all kinds of things on the nether roof without worry of gas or whatever bothering you. But I jokingly said, "Oh, well, you'll have to connect me again." He says, "Will do," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not in a rush. It's okay." But once we get portals and you can go up to the roof, then I might do that. However, I'm not sure whether or not I'll take a horse up there. Probably will if we're not doing trains this season. But yeah, I have a horrible trouble getting horses through portals successfully. We may have a few RIP horses. Thus far this season, what have I already done? Escape. 4. Oh, that's the one I'm looking for. Nope, not that one. No. That. Oh. Nope. I can't remember where the life of me to find the statistics screen. I always seem to find it and then forget where I put it. But I was looking to see just how much I've mined and how much I've dug up, but it's been a good bit. And this always goes unfortunately slow. Which is a bit of a shame. In the menu. In the menu! There we go. Of course, thank you, Stormy. I would miss that. Okay, so animals bred, damage taken. Banners cleaned. Oh, items. There we go. Times mined. Yeah, so
Hello?
I mined up about 11, just over 1,400 blocks of those. So we're looking at about 11,000 blocks mined so far. Got a good ways to go. That's okay. Could be worse. Let's see, deaths. Does it actually say? Damage, distance. Enderfish, games quit. Games quit, 6. Oh, right. Hoppers searched, items enchanted. Jumps, notes, raids. Time since last death. 10 hours. Huh. Okay. Not good. Anyways. What I will do is figure out how to get things cleaned up. Okay, how did you get timed out? says a time note by me, that's not the case. Oh. Okay. I know what it is. Your very first message, Yellow, right after Joe's comment, was you tried to use an ellipsis and for some reason put a 4th dot on the end of it. I don't know why, but on my channel it seems like not anybody else's. The ellipsis is really, really fussy about having a space after that 3rd dot. Otherwise, if you put anything else, even another dot, it thinks that it's a link, and then only mods are allowed to post links. Which is kind of dumb. But I haven't figured out how to get around that. If anybody has any clue whatsoever, I will be very, very, very happy. Yeah, I don't know. So. It's just ellipses love to get everybody on my stream. But once you do that, anything you try to type after that, it gets all annoyed with. Alright, we needed... There. I mean, one could argue, although Iron Tools are not the most exciting to watch, it's an improvement. Last season, I think within the first couple of days, I think I took you guys through mining sand in the desert, using up my stone shovels that I got from villager trading. So we're back into the same sort of world again. Alright, so what did I actually miss? Joe says, how's the stream going and how is chat? Yeah! How goes the early grind? Weirdly, it came through. Okay. You seem to be a lot better with it than some other peeps. Dang it, bad Yellow. Yeah, Yellow's being all naughty. Okay, the dots. Okay. Things come and things go, and then if I don't address them, they fade off the screen, so I need to get a little better at that. But yeah, I'm actually building stuff a little earlier. Last season, I think it took me like 2 days or something to find a place, and then the best thing I could do there was hide in a house in a village. At least this time I don't mind as much. That's one of the big differences after playing some Vault Hunters in the middle, is I don't mind just having my bed out in the open. It's not perfect, but I'm also not getting zombie swarms yet. Now I have a suspicion that whatever this world passes for an early game zombie swarm was probably what was attempting to take me out the other day when I ended up at spawn. But I think it was just, mostly it was player mismanagement of resources and tools available. Yeah, I don't think Yellow knows how to be naughty. Too nice a guy. Too nice a guy. Hey Brian, good to see you. A creeper woke you up one time. Oh, do tell. Bobo Zim was talking about, those of you who are familiar with the story will understand, but he was talking about working with silverfish, and that he found some silverfish, and that unfortunately he was going to be doing some decorating with their heads. So I joked at him that silverfish is the new bat crats, because bat crats had a fun, sarcasm intended, fun adventure when he spawned into the Bedrock server, I believe it was early last season, and boom, the creeper had snuck up in behind him and blew him up in part of the spawn house. Normally not a big issue. I mean, it stinks, but you know, you just got there and whatever. But the kicker was that spawn house, that was first season? Okay, so not last season, first season. Then, yeah, the kicker was the spawn house had been built out of infested stone. So Batcrats then immediately had himself in a lovely adventure with lots and lots of silverfish. Yeah. Part of how I'm losing track of season count is that, of course, the Java server has been around for a couple of seasons longer, than, oh, I shouldn't say couple, maybe a few seasons longer than the Bedrock server. Someone like the Zerks will probably be able to tell me just how many extra seasons, but I know I was in, I think this is my 5th season overall. So I started on Java and had one really badly failed season where I tried to build a hat as my house. Yeah, that didn't work. And then I had a successful season on Java after that. Then I switched to Bedrock. So Bedrock's first season was actually my 3rd. And then I came back to Java last season, so 4th. This would be my 5th season. Oh, not bad. It's your first death of the season. That's not too bad. I'm ahead of you a little bit, but not by much. So as I said, I will get the deaths thing figured out. I think it's just deaths reset, but I'm not sure if it's deaths total reset. Like I have to look at my commands. Basically, one of the things that my plan for my poor mods this season is to actually be able to send them a text file saying, as of this date, these are the following commands and here's what they do. Because I don't use Stream Elements. It's great. I love this service, but it didn't feel flexible enough for what I was looking for. So I'm trying StreamerBot, which is great, but now I have a massive mountain of commands that, unless I explain to people what they are, what all the triggers are, and exactly how to use them, they've got no clue. And Fantastic Sherlock Fox often only knows because living with me, he kind of can't avoid hearing about my stream ad nauseum. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. So my first successful season on Java, I made a very, very large flower shop. That's actually kind of how I met Jay. I was making a very large sunflower-themed shop where she got to learn firsthand that A, I was scared of creepers, and B, heights. So yeah, this thing was, I can't remember how many tall, it was probably close to over 70 at least, and probably closer to 100 by the time I was done. With custom design all the way. So as in, like, I guessed how tall I wanted the tower to be, and then I guessed the radius on the circle, and then just sort of winged it, and kept having to head out to another spot in the shopping district just to be able to go up Brian and Alex's tower that season, keep looking at mine build to see if it looked the way I wanted it to, and then go back up mine again, and yeah, it was long. It was long. But I got to meet Jay because she came for a lovely visit, and got to see the place. Unfortunately, it blew up underneath her a little bit. So, I can't remember if I fell to my death because of creepers at that time, or if it was like a blown up. I can't remember, some reason or other. But yeah, so we had some good conversations after that. But that was also the season I learned that I can do big redstone projects, like quote-unquote security boxes on the post office, and also learned very quickly that that's absolutely unnecessary with this particular community. So yeah, it was a great design. I liked it. It was fun. I learned a lot, but I will probably not build something quite complex like that again, just because there's no point. I got to learn all about hopper lag and yeah, and not to overbuild for whatever size I was working on. Because I can't remember how many people they said were registered on the server. I did like 5 or 6 boxes extra or whatever, and we ended up with like a third of it being used. Which I'm not bitter about. It was just more, yeah, I don't think I'll build something that big again. It was a lot of work. But yeah, so Flower was my first season on Java that actually worked well. Technically my second season. And then after that we had a lot of other fun. Okay, is that it for this layer? Aside from the gravel, yes. Okay, we've got a bit more, so let's go back and do some towers. Rinse and repeat, right? And eat would be helpful. This is one of the few times I wish render distance was a little bit bigger, but it's only because sometimes when there's lag, which is why you don't want render distance huge, it just sometimes feels like I'm, happily heading myself towards falling off the edge of the world, because it doesn't always load it. Hey, it's kind of comforting to get out a little ways past the iron farm and be actually able to see that I've got a build. It feels like progress is being made. Don't know how accurate that is. I had a little bit of help in the post office design from that season. I got a little tangled in the way some of it was working. So I got a little bit of help from an Aussie friend of mine. Not Joe, but I'm sure Joe probably could have helped if she'd been so inclined at the time. Okay, how far did we get? So we're up at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. 11. And 12. Oops. Come on. There we are. Overbuild? Who does that? Oh, I have no idea, Yellow. Not at all. The vast majority of DC's community, it's all pocket builds, right? I have yet to meet a person who would build, you know, one tower like this and say, yep, I'm done. That's my base for the season. We're good. And I'm just going to play everything else. Even the travelers, like Wolfen, still seem to have somewhere to collect home, I guess. Collect their bits and pieces. It's the odd time I've heard it said, the odds and sods of life. These are definitely going to need some decoration, but gotta start somewhere, right? Oh. Home is, yeah. Home is where the other end of your ender chest resides. Which for some is actually spawn. Was for me for a long time. So as I understand it, speaking of ender chests, it shouldn't be as hard in not too long. I haven't heard anybody building enders yet, but somebody last night was out fighting blazes in fortresses. I don't know if the Zerks would have any idea who that could be. If I do the math now, we're all aware of PP Zerk and ZZ Zerk, or Zerk, but we now have on this server, you'll see popping on and off. Oh, you? Yes. Yeah, so they've got more of their extended family on, as we're talking about family and friends. And so you'll also see, confusing for me, was ZZ. I'm Canadian! I will admit, the North American alphabet song sounds really weird with the British pronunciation of Z, so it must be a Commonwealth thing. There's a reason I was looking back at my notes. I can't remember. Oh, right. Okay, so we've got stairs, stairs. And there's something else sticking down. Why? Stairs, bricks. Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay. I see what I'm doing. They're doing, I'm doing, whatever. Okay. But you'll see, if you see people popping on and off, sometimes I have to read twice, just because I'm not sure who it is that's actually showing up. What we're doing now, we've got this one, please be upside down. Perfect. Oops. That way, or do I have to go sideways? Okay. I did two, yeah, okay, there we go. It is upside down. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's part of it was I wanted to push myself each season a little bit. So this one is mostly pushing myself in terms of scale. Whereas, no, I mean that year I guess was kind of pushing on scale. here. And just enough. Okay, so I've got enough now that I've... Oop, that's the wrong one. That I've got my design figured out. Most of it's put up on the walls. Let's see what this bit looks like from the outside. But yeah, houses I can do. I mean, they're not fancy houses, they're not stormy houses. But they're good enough, you know? They're not magic or anything. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the center one, so I'm gonna have to pull out the center block of the stairs. But I like the top. Well, if you want to go underground, you're more than welcome to it. I wish, in the biggest form of wish, I could handle underground places. It's just me and the wildlife don't get along. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's high enough for this one. There we go. And then in here will actually be a fence, so I think that's going to work out better. But around here, if I want fences, it's probably going to be oak, which is a little bit rough. I might have to go a bit abroad, see if I can find some spruce, because spruce would probably give it almost that like water-treated look, which on a castle is pretty ideal if you can possibly manage it with creosote, actually. So a lot of plastic waterproofing going on. All right. Stairs. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, so let's get the stairs on the other parts. And the slabs up top. Let's see, stairs. Oops, that's not what I want. I want stairs over here. Okay. 2, 4. 2, 4, 6 for that one. Normally 8. 24. 6 is 30. Oh, nice. Go like this. Probably want extra stairs later, but at least that's enough to start. And I need regular blocks and slabs. Right. So that's 30 again. Do the math. And extra special thank you to the Mystery Sleeper, because you're saving my bacon in more ways than you know. Oh, whoops. I don't need that. Yeah. That's better. Okay. And then I need to figure out what I'm doing on the corners, but it's a place to start anyway. Alright. Also, did I bring... Nope, I didn't bring that. I wanted to get the floors in this tower, which we can do. Do it. Okay. Going up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna see if that works again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. And then we end up with above that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got an extra edge. 2, 3. Oh no, 4. That works out great. Right up there. Perfect. Yay! Sometimes it's nice when things work out. Zerk made the advancement fishy business. Ooh, what's that? Catch a fish. Okay, cool. I often forget what a lot of the advancements are. Get this floor in. And that way we've got somewhere we can actually stand. One of my goals to finishing off the first tower is that means at least I've got something that I can pretend is a house for now. I guess one could argue briefly I'm the sheriff? Yeah, there we go. Dylan Beringer. I don't know if that has quite the same ring. Besides, Russell from Up would be disappointed if I did that. Okay. So now I need torch right smack in the middle, and up we go. There, and last one. Oops. 54. I can't count, can I? Sorry. Well, at least it's not horribly far away. Okay, I know I'm gonna need more, so I'll just do a bunch. Round and round and round she goes, and where she stops, no one knows. There we go. You find slabs are very good for extra headroom, but they're frustrating when they drop, so that's part of why I'm being careful in placing them. There we go. So, yeah, I'm not too bothered by that, so there'll be more torches coming on that level. Alright, so can we... Reloaded the shaders I'm not actually using. I need to rebind that key. What do I want? There's, and then those, and that. Yeah, that should be good. So we actually have some layout of the castle going. I have to figure out what to do on the... Oops, I did it wrong again. Figure out what I'm going to do with the corners, how we go around the midsection. That part's always a little fussier for me to figure out. Just because I get picky about how I like it to look. Go. 2, 3, and last one on this side. Which means I actually have something that will stand out on the map.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
Hydrate! Wow, that one still has a sound. Thank you very much for the hydrate, Jay. I really do appreciate that. Yum. Yummo on the coffee. Oops. And we'll just cut this one. And thank you very much, PP Zerk, for shouting out. So helpful. My brain just went to lunch a little bit, so let me just kill. There we go. Oh! PP Zerk chose to shout out Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Nice. I'm biased. So of course I'd say that's nice. But yeah, our mods are amazing people, in all of them. We have PP Zerk herself, and I believe Zerk is as well. They're just busy people, so sometimes Fantastic Sherlock Fox gets 2 things before they do. But today, he's actually probably quite tied up right now with giving the Munchkins lunch, because they both have soccer. My son's soccer starts in about 45 minutes, and they haven't left. Yes. Yes. Nope, I didn't entirely forget a stream item, but thank you for the reminder. So, we got 2 major choices, and I think because we're going to be working on Castle again tomorrow, most likely, then this time around I think I'm going to go with a chunk of dirt. And I'm going to call it leveling out. So I'm just going to write that really quickly in our... There we go. Leveling out. And this early in the season, the Bedrock server has a barrel at spawn, and they're naming their items and sticking them in the barrel. But they're also keeping a list for us so that when Java gets the opportunity, we can catch up and match, so that when at some point we end up with ourselves like a memory museum of sorts, then we can actually be able to commemorate this weekend as well. But so I think I'm going to do dirt and call it leveling out, because that's really what we've done so far, is leveled out this space and doing a bit more leveling out as we go kind of thing. And then starting with the towers. That way I can use a piece of stone or something for tomorrow and call it something like raising up or whatever. It works pretty well. Alright, so we finished this tower, and I have, well, not finished. We got up this tower. I'm just going to see if I can figure out what I noted for the corners. More spruce. Oh! Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Stairs, and then... okay. So what I did for the corners... By the way, if you're hearing cardboard and stuff in the background, I got myself a notebook. And just a scribble notebook and scribbled a lot of stuff in there. But I'm also using some designs that you would find in one of Mojang's official books. The Medieval Fortress Exploded Builds. So yeah. There's hints and tips and tricks from that. So you're getting a lot of cover flipping and reference material. That's that way. This way. And of course I went and calculated for all the edges that we already did, and didn't calculate for these corners because I couldn't remember what I was doing. That's okay. Let's from that one. We have the last few minutes or so of stream, and then I'll be heading on over. Actually, who's up next is Carnage Joe. So I'll be heading on over there, and CJ Bot will get the lovely joy of being the mod du jour in stream to start with, before I forget myself and end up bogarting the space. How rude that is. Miss paper in this digital sometimes. You know, it's funny actually. I do make a lot of paper scratch notes around my desk, and part of the reason I do so is because, well, one, I've got it handy, but two, if it's a note I'm not going to keep, then sometimes making it digital just ends up being in the way. Go. Did I get the stairs? No, I didn't get the stairs in these corners. So what I'm actually using for my scratch paper around here is actually, weirdly enough, I had a World of Warcraft calendar a few years ago. I believe it was actually, my goodness, I think I stored it. And I had a World of Minecraft, yes, that's the calendar I need. Let's see, what year was this? I haven't the foggiest. But it was a World of Warcraft, one of those page-a-day calendars. And I just kept all the pages because I was really into Warcraft at the time and liked the art. I still like the art. But I really decided afterwards I can't keep everything, you know? I'm not too surprised my kids take after me, and my daughter at least wants to keep everything. But I kept all that, and then so now it's just my scratch pad paper. It's convenient, notes around, etc. Okay, and this... So on the spot with the dirt will actually be fence post instead of the dirt. But I just, as we talked about, haven't got that far yet because I have to go hunting for spruce trees to get the saplings. And mine that all up. Whatever you call it. It all up. Oops. Okay. We are just about there. Another couple of minutes and then I'll check in to see if Queen Joe is available. And so she's back on the, I believe, the Bedrock server, because I would have seen her log in if she was playing Java. You're enjoying the new new expansion? Please. I'm very, very curious. On the other hand, I have to be careful now because I've kind of, I would say kind of moved on, but more, I guess, set my fires. And need to be careful where I get my addictions, because I actually used to be quite into World of Warcraft. Fantastic Sherlock Fox, when I played, I was into it first because coworkers at a tech company and all, not surprised, they're gamers, and they got me into World of Warcraft. And then after that, eventually I got Sherlock Fox involved, and yeah, it just we stayed till. Don't do it, Del. It's a trap. Yes, it so is a trap. Sad part is, it's definitely not inconceivable. But I mean, there are days where I'd really rather just do something different. I will say, if people think that the Minecraft spiders bother me, World of Warcraft spiders were bad. Because they actually moved a lot, like spiders. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a spot. We've got an edge. So let's go down, see how this looks. And, I don't really... Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Sleeper. And I'm just going to jump up here, see what it looks like. And then we'll check in with Joe and see how Joe's doing. Yeah, so I'm liking where this is going. Every one of the spots where there is a gap upwards, so like on the long sides and on the corners, there's going to be a fence post on that one. Although I may put fence posts taller. We'll see. There's a bunch of different design ideas and stuff I could work with. But I'm definitely going to put them on there. And that should, in theory, if I'm standing on the top of the tower, keep me spider safe. Eee! That's one of my biggest thoughts. Yeah, so when I first started playing, I was playing Sebtech, but then the version I picked up had MoBenz in it, and I didn't know about that, and then I got into texture packs because I was quite interested with that. And, yeah. Got some ones where they look fairly realistic. I was enjoying that factor. But, you know, Murphy's Law. Okay, and throw... Coming right back for it, so let's throw block out. Here we come back. Alright. Home it is. Let's go over... Actually, for now there's a reason to be in the center, so let's just go with that. I'll put stuff down, and then we'll move from there. Alright. Excellent. So it's time for me to pick up these last two bits and check in with Joe, so I'll do that from the top of the tower, just to make sure that I don't have a whole lot of neighbors showing up if we stay a little longer than the day. Because our mystery sleepers shouldn't be relied upon to do it all the time. That's just rude. There we go. Actually, just want to see what it looks like. Oh, I got it. So this will be the exterior, in theory, where sieges and such would come from. I'll hang out maybe about like here. And let's go. This one. That one? Nope. This one. There we go. Twink. Alright, so I still have block collision turned on. That's not bad. I mean, technically the outside will be on this side, so I'm still one tower off. But yeah, that's not horrible. I'm actually relatively chuffed about that, as silly as it sounds. We've got something productive done on stream, I didn't flip my lid, and yeah. You see in there, I've got a pseudo character called Free Camera, which is one of the add-ons. But, as you can see, at the moment, it's set up to collide into things. Because this is what I want to use it for, is builds. Be able to see what's going on in builds. So if I wanted to go down in tunnels, I'd actually have to go elsewhere. Yeah, with that setting turned on, that way I can't go down this way. Yep, that's... Okay, great. Perfect. So, I will back off for a sec, and let's see if I can get Joe live.
Squirreling.
Hey, squirrel!
I maintained the veggies.
Hey, Joe!
Got some more cows. Not a lot. I did the sheep.
Okay, so for everybody on my stream,
squirreled the whole time. I ran around trying to do things.
For my stream, for some reason, the input device it doesn't like me, so I'm gonna have to choose it selectively. There we go. Let's check. Check. Okay, we should be okay. Don't know why it doesn't like me, but let's close settings off and see if we can get... Yep, there we go. It sees me. Alright.
Hello.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Fine. This early in the morning.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think you said it was 6 a.m. for you. But then on the other hand, it's 6 a.m. on your Sunday, so your weekend's half over.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. I was a little bit nervous actually, Del, because I was, like I'm always awake this early, but knowing that you have to be awake, I was like, I'm gonna mess this up and I'm not gonna wake up in time, and I had to set an alarm just in case.
I've had that, yes, definitely have had that.
How was your stream?
I got something built, which is a good start. I saw you pop in. Yeah, I saw you pop in briefly, but it's actually a good one so far. I'm wired because I haven't eaten my breakfast granola bar yet, and I've still got my coffee. But looking forward to coming and hanging out with you fairly shortly.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for handing the stream over, and I can't wait to have everyone here.
No problem. I'll just do my wrap up, and then I'll send them over your way.
No worries. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
So, as you guys can see, we got some stuff accomplished today. Joe's all ready for us. I'm not too surprised it's echoing. My microphone's a little fussy. Every time I do a Discord stream, it always picks up something stupid. If I feed into Discord, I have to mute my mic, which, if I mute my mic, then it doesn't always feed through to Discord correctly. So it's just one of those loopy things. I'll have that sorted out for tomorrow because I'll dragoon somebody into doing testing and stuff. But anyway, long story made short, we got something done. Tomorrow we have a plan, so we're going to keep moving on with more of the castle and getting more of the decoration done. If I determine overnight that I'm not really into that, then we'll end up going touring and seeing if we can find the spruce forests. But looks like Joe is ready, so I want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out. Just throw up the screen for you this weekend. We have the Patreon server people, so you can see there's myself leading into Joe, and then after Joe, she'll lead into Peregrine. Our patron himself, Dadcraft, will be on at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, and 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so that's an unusual thing for him to be on a Sunday. But do catch as many of them as you can, everybody. It's definitely a great weekend, and a lot of great people getting in and building a lot of great things on the stream. So, thank you very much to everyone, and we'll just start the raid off to Joe. Oop, oop. There we go.
Mischief managed.
Excelente. Alright, so last couple pieces is thank you very much to our new followers, Switchblade and Porkchop Wally, and thank you very much to the resubscribe from Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and the subscription gift from Fantastic Sherlock Fox as well, to Scotch Tape, and then thank you for the raid from Shinigami. And you know what? That's probably about it. If you didn't get your name shouted out, I appreciate the lurk, appreciate the chat, appreciate everyone who came in today. But let's all go say hi to Joe and give her our best. See you tomorrow.
Transfer complete.